So let's get into it, man. It's awesome times coming up in boxing. I said this in the last video that I spoke about cornerstones in boxing, and there's a few guys on that list that's cornerstones. And what I mean by that is you have guys that have body builds that can cause them to go up and down without much problems in the sport of boxing, as far as them losing too much muscle mass, things of that nature. So or them having to kill themselves to make weight and this, that, or the other. But right now, you got Danny Garcia, who is a pretty solid cornerstone for boxing. Miguel Cotto, even though he's a little older, and it's getting harder for him to sustain weight. But I think he's been doing a pretty good job of sustaining his weight and able to lose weight and things of that nature, move up and down between weight classes. Um, I believe I'm missing somebody right now. Oh, Canelo Alvarez, another guy that can move up and down, but he's becoming pretty solid. He's looking more like a middleweight to me, in my opinion. And he has fought for, I believe, the middleweight crown, or he holds one of the crowns. So he's another guy that can move up and down, but cardio is just not his thing. So I think that he's settled on being a wider frame, a wider body guy. He wants to sustain muscle mass and be able to take punches and deliver punishment. So that's the kind of fighter or boxer that he is. He's a solid guy. But these guys are a cornerstone, and right now I would have to honestly take Miguel Cotto out of the picture, even though he can literally stick around for about 3 or 4 more years if he wanted to. Um, Shane Mosley used to be one of those guys that had that body build. But oh yeah, I knew I was missing somebody. Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter is another guy that can go up and down. Right about now, he's still young. He can put on a lot of mass for another weight class, and he's a solid puncher. So he's another one of those guys that can fit in this mix, of where you can make numerous fights happen in the sport of boxing. So I'm really looking forward to seeing some pretty big fights. I've been hearing some rumblings and grumblings about fights that are going to take place or could take place in the near future. But these are some of the fights that I've read about. I got to give credit to Bad Left Hook because, I mean, those guys do a good job, on Twitter, and they're everywhere, man, on all of the boxing boards, and I see Bad Left Hook everywhere. So got to give a shout out to Bad Left Hook um, for that. But I'm going on his Facebook page, and I've seen a lot of people on there talking about a lot of fights that they would want to see or that they feel Danny Garcia should take. And right now, the mumblings and grumblings is Danny Garcia versus Robert the Ghost Guerrero. So a lot of people are upset about that fight. They feel that it's a pretty safe fight for Danny. When I first read it, I kind of agreed with that, kind of. But I really, after reevaluating that, I see what Angel is doing with Danny. I don't necessarily see it as a cherry pick fight. I think that they're worried about their output in that fight and Danny's work rate. That's what I see in that fight. They want him to look exciting. They don't want him to be in too much of a technical fight right now. In order for him to be able to be a bigger name in the sport, he has to have somewhat of a war or give him a Bangam style fight. So the fans want to see that. It's good to put a Puerto Rican in the midst of the ring with a Mexican fighter. So it makes noise throughout the sport of boxing. Right now, Danny's quickly becoming a love-hate kind of guy, and his name is ringing throughout the sport right now, as well as Keith Thurman. So his name has come up amongst Danny Garcia. Adrian Broner's name has come up. Timothy Bradley's name has come up. Amir Khan, Manny Pacquiao. There's so many names that you can match with Danny Garcia right now. It just depends on the look that you want Danny to have if you're his manager or, if you're his dad. It's just the look that you want him to have in the particular fight that he's fighting in. So, same deal with Shawn Porter. up and down kind of guy, where, like I said before, he can move up and down in weight. So you can put him in there with Keith. His name has been ringing with Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman's name has been ringing a lot. He's not a cornerstone kind of guy per se, because he boxes in his frame. He can't really put on much mass, due to his frame, but he's a solid puncher. So you won't be too afraid to put him in there with particular kinds of guys. So again, Keith Thurman is another one of those guys that you got to be careful with who you match him with, because either you want to see him in an exciting fight, a bang 'em type fight, or you want to see him box. Boxing fans want to be able to see what Keith can do laterally. What is he going to do with his ability to slip and jab and set guys up, with traps and things of that nature. But your casual guys want to see him in there banging, because he's calling himself one time, so they want to see the knockout happen. So you got to be careful with who you put him in there with. Bandu gave him a hard time when he fought him. And what's his name? Colazo gave him a hard time as well. So you got to really be careful with who you put Keith Thurman in the ring with. So they're trying to be very particular on who they match these guys up with. I'm trying to get to the 8-minute mark, guys. I want to hear everybody's opinion on who you guys want to see. If you think that this list of fighters is good for boxing, or where we're getting ready to head in the near future. Another name that keeps coming up is Kell Brook. He's finally breaking his silence now and getting outside of the Amir Khan sweepstakes, and he's calling out Keith Thurman. So we wanna be able to see that. His name has also been matched with Floyd Mayweather. I'm really getting tired talking about Floyd. His name brings up so much flack, but you got to talk about it because it's a big part of boxing. Another name, of course, Timothy Bradley. You're hearing mumblings and grumblings about Margarito. And I think that's pretty much it right now. So what do you guys think? What do you want to see? What do you want to hear when you go on to these boxing videos? What do you want to talk about? I just want to know really what guys want to see. What matches do you find intriguing for the future? I mean, I'm really, really excited about some of these fights that's getting ready to come, if these fights happen, because there's going to be a lot of guys ducking and dodging in a minute. Their names are starting to be brought up, so you're seeing some movement here and there from guys that want to take a safer route, or a fight that's going to enable them to look good or get them output or up the work rate. So again, let me know what you guys think, man. Hit me up. Peace.